Every day, you are having a conversation with the most influential person in your life, yourself. And here's the question. Is that voice building you up or tearing you down? Is it a coach or a critic? You see, your mind believes what you keep telling it. Say you can't, and it won't. Say you're not enough, and you never will be. But start telling yourself you can, you will, you are capable, and you ignite a chain reaction that changes everything. I'm here to tell you, the words you whisper to yourself in the quiet moments are not harmless. They're instructions. Instructions your mind will follow without question. That's why the person who learns to master their self-talk can change their future faster than almost anything else. But here's the tragedy. Most people have left that inner voice on autopilot, filled with old doubts, old fears, and old stories that no longer serve them. They wonder why they stay stuck, while the answer is right between their ears. So in this program, I want you to take control of that conversation, to choose words that feed your faith, not your fear, to speak to yourself like the person you want to become, not the person you've been. Because once you do, everything changes. Your belief changes, your actions change, your results change, and in the end, your life changes. So let's begin, and make sure that from this day forward, the voice you hear the most is the one that believes in you the most. You are always talking to yourself, so listen carefully. Let me start with a truth that might surprise you. You are in constant conversation with yourself. From the moment you wake up before your feet even touch the floor, the dialogue begins. It's too early. I'm tired. I'm not ready for this day. Or maybe, let's go. I've got this. Today is mine. That inner voice never stops. It's there when you're driving to work. It's there when you make a mistake. It's there when you face a challenge. It's there when you're about to quit. And it's there when you choose to push forward. And here's the key. That voice is not just commentary. It's instruction. Your mind takes those words as truth and then shapes your feelings, your decisions, and your actions to match. If you tell yourself, I can't handle this, your brain begins looking for evidence that you're right. If you say, I'm no good at this, you'll find proof in every setback. But if you tell yourself, I can figure this out, your mind shifts to problem-solving mode. If you say, I'm learning and growing, you'll spot opportunities instead of obstacles. See, the conversation you have with yourself is the most powerful influence in your life. More powerful than what your parents told you. More powerful than what the critics say. More powerful than the economy, the weather, or the news. Why? Because you are the one voice you hear the most. Now, most people don't pay attention to this constant stream of self-talk. They let it run on autopilot. And unfortunately, autopilot often means running old programs, outdated beliefs, recycled fears, hand-me-down doubts from years ago. Maybe from a teacher who told you you'd never amount to much. Maybe from a failure you never fully got over. Maybe from a fear that became part of your story. But let me ask you, if you had a friend who spoke to you the way you sometimes speak to yourself, how long would you keep them around? If they constantly pointed out your flaws, doubted your ability, and reminded you of every mistake, would you call that friendship? No, you'd call it abuse. And yet some of us live with that kind of inner dialogue every day. Here's the good news. You can change that voice. You can retrain it. But first, you have to become aware of it. You've got to listen carefully. This week, I want you to treat your mind like it's on a microphone, and you're the sound engineer. Pay attention to the words you say to yourself when you wake up, when you look in the mirror, when you make a mistake, when you try something new. Don't judge it yet. Just listen. You might be shocked at how often you discourage yourself before you even begin. How often you predict failure before giving yourself a chance to succeed. And once you hear it, you can begin to change it. Here's what I've learned. The mind is like a computer. If you put in poor instructions, you'll get poor results. If you type in, I'm not good enough, that's the program it runs. If you type in, I can learn, suddenly it's searching for solutions. Positive self-talk isn't about pretending life is perfect. It's about giving your mind the kind of instructions that move you forward instead of holding you back. If you say to yourself, this is too hard, you shut the door. But if you say, this will challenge me, and challenges make me stronger, you leave the door open to growth. If you say, I'm terrible at this, you've labeled yourself. But if you say, I'm improving every day, you've set yourself in motion. Now here's the challenge. Start catching the negative phrases as they come, and when you do, replace them immediately with something empowering, not fake, empowering. Instead of, I can't do this, try, I'm going to figure this out. Instead of, I'm so stupid, try, I made a mistake, but I'm learning. Over time, that inner voice will stop being your worst critic and start becoming your greatest coach. And here's what will happen. You'll notice your confidence shift. You'll start attempting things you used to avoid. You'll see possibilities where you once saw problems. And little by little, the quality of your self-talk will determine the quality of your life. So remember, you are always talking to yourself. The question is, are you listening? And if you are listening, are you hearing a voice that pushes you forward or pulls you back? Make the decision today. From now on, the voice in your head will be the one that believes in you the most. Because if you can win that conversation, you can win anything. Words build or break. The law of self-construction. Let me give you a picture. Imagine your life as a building. Every day you lay bricks. Every word you speak to yourself, whether positive or negative, is a brick in the walls of that building. Now here's the truth. Words are never neutral. They either build you or they break you. They either strengthen your foundation or they weaken it. That's what I call the law of self-construction. Your life is being built every day by the words you choose to believe and repeat. Some people wake up in the morning and start laying bricks of doubt. I'm tired. I can't do this. I'll never get ahead. That's like building your walls with sand. Fragile, unstable, ready to crumble under the first pressure. Others wake up and lay bricks of strength. I've got what it takes. I'm learning every day. Today is mine to make the most of. That's like building with solid stone. Strong, weatherproof, ready for storms. Now here's the part most people miss. You are both the architect and the construction crew of your life. You design it with your beliefs, and you build it with your words. If you keep saying, I'm not good with money, you are constructing a financial future where that's true. If you say, I'm always late, you are building a reputation on tardiness. But if you say, I'm becoming better at managing my finances, or I value other people's time, you are putting new blueprints in place. See, words don't just describe your reality, they shape it. Speak small, and you live small. Speak growth, and you grow. Now let me challenge you. Think about the words you've been using to describe yourself, not just in public, but in private. Are they building you up or tearing you down? Would you let a stranger speak to you the way you speak to yourself? Your self-talk is a kind of prophecy. It predicts your future because your actions will always rise or sink to match the story you keep telling yourself. If your words are careless, your life will be careless. If your words are intentional, your life will be intentional. It's like a carpenter. If he uses warped wood, the house will be crooked. If he uses quality materials, the house will be straight and strong. Your words are the materials you use to build your life. Here's an exercise I give to people. I call it Inventory the Lumber. For 1 week, write down the common phrases you use when talking about yourself or your life. Don't try to change them yet. Just collect them. At the end of the week, go through that list and put each phrase into one of two piles: building materials or breaking materials. When you see those breaking words, the ones that undermine your confidence, limit your potential, and reinforce fear, you have to throw them out. Replace them with building words, language that reinforces possibility, growth, and responsibility. Now, this is not about faking reality. I'm not asking you to say, I'm a millionaire, when you're broke. I'm asking you to say, I am learning the skills and discipline to build wealth. That's truth with direction. And the mind loves truth with direction. Over time, as you keep speaking constructive words, your internal building, your self-image, your confidence, your mindset becomes strong. Strong enough to handle setbacks without collapsing. Strong enough to take on bigger goals without fear. Strong enough to serve as a shelter for others who need your example. And here's the most important part. When you start speaking life into yourself, you naturally start speaking life into others. You become the kind of person who builds people, not breaks them. So remember the law of self-construction. Every word is a brick. Every brick builds or breaks. You choose which wall you're building. From this day forward, be intentional. Because when you guard your words, you guard your life. And when you build with the right words, you don't just survive the storms. You stand tall through them. Belief begins with what you tell yourself. Everything you've ever achieved, and everything you've ever failed to even attempt, started with one thing: belief. Before you took the first step, before you picked up the phone, before you shook the hand, before you signed the paper, you believed you could, or you believed you couldn't. And here's the fascinating part. Belief is not magic. It doesn't float down from the sky. It doesn't appear in your heart by accident. Belief begins with what you keep telling yourself. Let's say you keep telling yourself, "I'm not good at speaking in public." That phrase becomes a seed. And every time you repeat it, you water that seed. Soon it takes root. Then when you're invited to speak, you feel nervous. Your hands sweat. Your mind blanks. And you think, "See, I was right. I'm not good at this." But the truth is, you weren't right. You were trained by your own repeated words. Now imagine if instead you told yourself, "I'm learning to speak with confidence." At first it might feel awkward. It might not even feel true yet. But each time you say it, you plant a different seed. You water it with practice. And over time you start to feel just a little more comfortable. That comfort builds into confidence. And eventually you stand up to speak and believe, "I can do this." You see, the human mind is remarkably obedient. It will follow the instructions you give it most often. If you say you're weak, it will find ways to keep you weak. If you say you're strong, it will begin looking for ways to prove you right. Belief isn't something you find. It's something you build. And you build it one phrase, one thought, one repetition at a time. Now here's the warning. Just as positive words can build belief, negative words can destroy it. You might have noticed this in other people. Someone grows up in a home where they're told, "You'll never be anything." And even as an adult, they carry that script. It becomes their reality, not because it was true, but because they believed it. Some of you have been living with beliefs that aren't even yours. They were handed to you by someone else's fear, someone else's frustration, someone else's limitations. But here's the good news. If belief begins with what you tell yourself, you can start telling yourself something new today. So how do we do it? First, identify the old phrases that have been shaping your belief. Write them down. Look them in the eye. Then ask yourself, are these words helping me become the person I want to be? Or holding me hostage to the person I used to be? Second, replace them with words that point you forward. Not fantasy words, but growth words. If you've been saying, "I'm bad with money," try, "I'm learning to manage my money better each month." If you've been saying, "I can't lose weight," try, "I'm building the habits to get healthier every day." Third, repeat them until they become natural. Remember, belief grows through repetition. You didn't believe the old story after hearing it once. You believed it after hearing it 100 times. So give your new story the same chance. When you do this, something powerful happens. Your self-talk becomes the architect of your belief, and your belief becomes the architect of your action. You start taking steps you wouldn't have dared to take before. You start seeing opportunities where you once saw problems. You start to feel that deep, quiet confidence that says, "I've got this." And here's the beautiful part. Belief is contagious. When you believe in yourself, you give others permission to believe in themselves. Your words don't just build you. They can inspire everyone who hears you. So remember, belief begins with what you tell yourself. Every word you speak inwardly is a vote for the person you are becoming. Cast enough votes in the right direction, and soon you'll wake up one day and realize you no longer hope you can. You know you can. And when you reach that point, the gap between your dreams and your reality gets smaller every day. The mind is a garden. Plant carefully. Pull quickly. I want you to imagine your mind as a garden. Now in any garden, there are only two possibilities. You can plant seeds on purpose, or seeds will get planted by accident. And here's the rule. Whatever gets planted will grow. Your thoughts, your words, your self-talk. These are the seeds. Positive words. That's planting flowers, fruit, vegetables. Negative words. That's planting weeds. Now weeds don't need permission to grow. They don't need your invitation. They don't even need your care. They just show up. Someone says something negative to you. A doubt creeps in. You replay an old failure in your mind. And boom, there's a weed. That's why I say plant carefully, pull quickly. Be careful about what you plant, because the mind doesn't know the difference between a seed that will nourish you and a seed that will poison you. It just grows, whatever it's given. Think about it. If you keep saying to yourself, "I can't handle stress," that's a seed. And the more you repeat it, the deeper the roots. Then, every time life throws you a challenge, that plant grows taller and stronger. Soon, it overshadows every other good thing you've planted. But if you plant, "I stay calm under pressure," you give your mind something else to grow. And with enough repetition, that seed grows into confidence, resilience, and a calm spirit. Here's the danger. Most people don't tend their mental garden. They let anyone walk through with muddy boots. They allow negative news, gossip, criticism, and fear to blow in like dandelion fluff and take root. And then they wonder why their life feels overrun with frustration and self-doubt. A good gardener doesn't just plant carefully. they also pull weeds quickly. If you spot a weed in your garden and say, "Oh, I'll deal with it later," you're in trouble. Because later, it's bigger. Later, it's harder to pull. Later, it's choking your good plants. Same with your mind. The moment you hear yourself saying something destructive like, "I'm not good enough," pull it. Replace it. Don't let it stay another day. When you hear, "I can't do this," change it to, "I can learn how to do this." When you hear, "I'm such a failure," replace it with, "I'm learning from this experience." And here's something to remember. Your garden responds to attention. The more you water the flowers, the stronger they get. The more you feed the weeds, the faster they spread. So how do you become a master gardener of your mind? Plant intentionally every morning. Before the day begins, choose 3 positive, empowering phrases to say to yourself. This is like planting rows of strong, healthy seeds before the weeds have a chance. Inspect your garden daily. Pay attention to your self-talk. Are you nurturing growth or neglecting it? The mind left unattended will default to weeds. Pull weeds immediately. Don't wait. Negative self-talk is easiest to change the moment you catch it. Protect your soil. Be mindful of the people, media, and environments you expose yourself to. Some will scatter weeds into your mind without you even realizing it. Replant after pulling. When you remove a negative thought, fill that empty space with something positive right away. Otherwise, the weeds will return. Here's the beauty of it. When you plant carefully and pull quickly, your mental garden becomes a place of abundance. You'll find yourself walking through your day, surrounded by thoughts that strengthen you, words that inspire you, and beliefs that keep you moving forward. And the best part, people will notice. They'll see the peace, the confidence, the clarity in your life. And they'll ask, "What's your secret?" And you'll know, the secret was never magic. The secret was gardening. So remember, plant carefully, pull quickly, because what grows in your mind will grow in your life. And the harvest is always in proportion to the seeds you sow. Rewriting the script from critic to coach. For a moment, I want you to think about the voice inside your head. Not the one you use to talk to others. The one you use to talk to yourself. For some people, that voice is encouraging, steady, and supportive, like a wise mentor who believes in them. For others, it's harsh, unforgiving, and quick to point out every flaw, like a critic who's never satisfied. Now, here's the truth. You can't mute that voice entirely. Self-talk will always be part of you, but you can change its role. You can rewrite the script so that the voice in your head stops being your worst critic and starts being your best coach. Let's be honest. For many people, their inner dialogue is brutal. One mistake, and the critic jumps in. "You're so stupid. You always mess things up. You'll never get this right." If you've ever talked to yourself like that, let me ask, would you talk that way to a friend? Would you tell your child, "You're hopeless. You'll never improve"? Of course not. So why say it to yourself? Here's the danger. The critic doesn't just make you feel bad. Over time, it shapes your identity. If you hear "I'm no good at this" often enough, you stop trying. If you hear "I'll never change" often enough, you give up before you even begin. The first step in rewriting the script is awareness. You have to catch the critic in the act. Listen for phrases like, "I always fail," "I can't do this," "I'm just not that kind of person." Once you hear them, don't just let them pass. Stop. Challenge them. Ask yourself, is this voice helping me or holding me back? The second step is reframing. This doesn't mean ignoring mistakes or pretending everything is perfect. It means turning criticism into guidance, just like a good coach would. Instead of "I'm terrible at public speaking," your coach voice might say, "I need more practice, and I can get better with each attempt." Instead of "I blew that opportunity," your coach voice might say, "That didn't go well. Let's figure out what to do better next time." See the difference? The critic shames you. The coach trains you. The third step is repetition. You can't rewrite a script by changing one sentence. Once, old habits will try to come back. But the more often you choose the coach over the critic, the stronger that new voice becomes. Think of it like this. Your inner voice is reading from a script. It's been handed years ago. Maybe that script was written by childhood experiences, by failures, by the influence of other people. If you don't like the story it's telling, you have to become the new author. And here's where it gets powerful. When you train your self-talk to be a coach, it doesn't just make you feel better, it makes you perform better. A coach sees your weaknesses, but focuses on improvement. A coach doesn't just point out the problem, they give you the plan. Here's a simple exercise. For 1 week, write down 3 negative things your inner critic says to you. Next to each one, Rewrite it as if a great coach were speaking to you instead. Read the coach's version out loud, twice a day. You'll be surprised at how quickly you start to believe the new script. Over time, something shifts. When you fail, you don't spiral. You learn. When you stumble, you don't quit. You adjust. When you win, you don't dismiss it. You celebrate. And here's the bonus. When you become your own best coach, you naturally become a better coach for others. You start encouraging instead of criticizing. You start lifting instead of tearing down. So remember, you can't stop talking to yourself, but you can change what you're saying. The critic looks for what's wrong. The coach builds on what's right and helps you fix what's wrong. One keeps you stuck, the other gets you moving. From this day forward, make sure the voice you hear in your head isn't the one that keeps you on the bench, but the one that sends you back in the game, stronger than before. The power of I am statements. Two of the most powerful words you will ever speak are, I am. Why? Because whatever follows those two words shapes your identity, and your identity shapes your destiny. Say, I am confident, and your mind starts scanning for ways to confirm it. Say, I am terrible with people, and your mind starts proving you right. Your brain is an obedient servant, always working to align your actions with the instructions you give it most often. The truth is, I am statements are more than descriptions. They are declarations. They're not just labels, they're commands. And once you attach a belief to your identity, you begin living it out without even realizing it. Here's the problem. Most people use I am statements carelessly, and usually in the negative. I am lazy. I am unlucky. I am bad with money. I am just not that smart. And with each repetition, that identity gets stronger. You're building walls around yourself, trapping your potential inside. But the good news, you can flip this around. You can take control of your I am statements and use them to expand your possibilities instead of shrinking them. Now let's be clear, this isn't about lying to yourself. If you're out of shape, you don't say, I am an Olympic athlete. That's not inspiring, that's delusional. Instead, you say, I am becoming healthier every day. I am building the discipline to take care of my body. Why? Because the mind can believe a statement that reflects both truth and direction. Truth about where you are, direction about where you're going. Here's how to harness the power of I am statements. 1. Identify the harmful ones you're already using. Listen for patterns. Maybe you say, I am unlucky when something goes wrong, or I am a procrastinator when you put things off. Write them down. 2. Rewrite them with growth in mind. Turn I am unlucky into I am learning how to create my own opportunities. Turn I am a procrastinator into I am becoming a person who takes action quickly. 3. Repeat them daily, especially in moments of doubt. Your old I am statements didn't become part of your identity overnight. They got there through repetition, so you have to replace them the same way, through repetition. 4. Visualize as you say them. When you declare, I am disciplined, picture yourself following through on your commitments. When you say, I am confident, imagine yourself speaking up, leading, making decisions without hesitation. Now let me warn you, at first your brain might resist. It might say, that's not who you are. But remember, I am statements are not just about who you've been, they're about who you're becoming. You're giving your mind new orders, and at first, the old orders will fight back. That's normal. And here's something remarkable. Once you change your I am statements, your behavior will start to change to match them. You begin to make decisions that are in line with your new identity. If you believe I am a disciplined person, you start showing up on time. If you believe I am a leader, you begin speaking and acting with more authority. It's a chain reaction. Your I am statements shape your identity. Your identity shapes your behavior. Your behavior shapes your results, and your results reinforce your belief. So, I'll leave you with a challenge. Over the next 30 days, choose 3 I am statements that reflect the best version of yourself. Say them every morning. Say them every night. Say them when you win, and especially when you fail. Because here's the truth. If you tell yourself, I am enough times, you will become it. And when you choose your I am wisely, you choose your future wisely. So make the choice. Declare who you are before life decides it for you. Turning problems into possibilities. Let me give you a thought that can change your life. Every problem you face carries within it the seed of a possibility. Now, most people don't believe that. Why? Because when a problem shows up, they stop looking for the seed. They stare at the dirt. They stare at the mess. They say, why me? This always happens to me. I can't handle this. And here's the tragedy. When your self-talk locks onto the problem, your mind shuts the door on solutions. But when your self-talk points toward possibility, the door swings open. It's the same situation, but a completely different conversation. Let's take an example. You lose a client. If your inner voice says, "This is a disaster, I'll never recover," your mind goes into panic mode. It stops thinking creatively. But if your inner voice says, "This is a chance to find an even better client," your mind starts scanning for opportunities. It's not magic, it's mental direction. The words you use determine where your mind looks. The great truth is this: problems are not roadblocks. They're signposts. They're telling you something. Sometimes they're telling you it's time to grow. Sometimes they're telling you it's time to change direction. And sometimes they're telling you it's time to prove to yourself just how much you can handle. The difference is not the size of the problem. The difference is the quality of the conversation you have with yourself about it. Here's a little formula I use. Problem, perspective, possibility. The problem is what happens. The perspective is the story you tell yourself about it. And the possibility is what you find, or don't find, based on that story. Let's say you make a big mistake at work. The problem is the mistake. The perspective could be, "I'm terrible at my job." Or it could be, "This is my opportunity to learn something important." If you choose the second perspective, the possibility might be developing a skill that makes you even more valuable in the future. But it all starts with self-talk. Because the first words you say to yourself when a problem shows up will either plant the seed of a possibility or bury it under doubt and fear. Here's how to train your self-talk to turn problems into possibilities. 1. Pause before reacting. When something goes wrong, don't let your first words be panic words. Take a breath. Create space for a better conversation. 2. Ask possibility questions. Instead of "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I do with this? What can I learn? How can I grow?" Questions direct your mind towards solutions. 3. Reframe the language. Replace "This is the worst" with "This is a challenge I can handle." Replace "I'm stuck" with "I'm looking for the next step." 4. Look for the hidden gift. Every challenge comes with some kind of advantage. Even if it's just resilience, patience, or perspective. Find it. Name it. Over time, this way of thinking becomes your default setting. Problems stop feeling like personal attacks and start feeling like training grounds. You no longer fear them because you've trained yourself to mine them for value. And here's the beautiful part. When you become the kind of person who turns problems into possibilities, people notice. You become the steady one in a crisis. The one who sees what others miss. The one people trust to find a way forward. So remember this: problems will always knock on your door, but you get to decide whether they come in as unwelcome intruders or invited teachers. The choice is in your words. Speak limitation, and the problem grows. Speak possibility, and the solution appears. And when you live this way long enough, you'll look back and realize the best parts of your life didn't happen in spite of the problems. They happened because of them. Guarding your mind from external negativity. Let me tell you something I learned a long time ago. Your mind is a garden, but it's not surrounded by a wall unless you build one. And if you don't build that wall, the weeds of other people's negativity will blow in and take root before you even notice. See, self-talk isn't just influenced by what you say to yourself. It's shaped by what you allow others to say around you. Every conversation, every headline, every complaint, every criticism you let into your ears becomes material for your inner voice to repeat later. That's why guarding your mind is not optional. It's essential. Here's the reality. You can spend months building confidence with positive self-talk and then lose it in a single afternoon if you surround yourself with the wrong voices. One sarcastic remark, one constant complainer, one toxic environment, and suddenly you're doubting yourself again. Why? Because words are seeds, whether you plant them yourself or someone else plants them for you. Think about it. Have you ever been in a good mood until you spent time with someone who complained the entire time? You leave the conversation feeling heavier than when you walked in. That's not an accident. That's transfer. Their negativity found a way into your garden. Now let's be clear. You can't live in a bubble. You can't avoid every negative word, every critical person, every discouraging headline, but you can control how much access you give them to your mind. Here's how you guard your mental environment. 1. Be selective with your company. If you spend most of your time with people who tear down, you will start tearing down yourself and others. But spend time with people who encourage, and you will start encouraging. 2. Limit your exposure to toxic media. The news, social media, and entertainment can be powerful tools or powerful poisons. Ask yourself, does what I'm consuming make me feel stronger or weaker? Does it fuel my faith or feed my fear? 3. Set boundaries with negative people. You may not be able to remove certain people from your life entirely, family, co-workers, old friends, but you can limit how much time you spend listening to them, and you can decide not to absorb their words as truth. 4. Balance the input. If you can't avoid negativity in one part of your life, make sure you flood your mind with positivity in other areas. Read good books. Listen to uplifting audio. Surround yourself with voices that believe in you. Because here's the truth. Guarding your mind isn't about pretending bad things don't happen. It's about deciding who gets to speak into your life. I like to think of it this way. Imagine your mind is a house. Would you leave the front door wide open and let anyone wander in? Of course not. You'd choose who gets in. You'd keep out the thieves. You'd protect what's valuable. Your thoughts are valuable. Your self-belief is valuable. Your focus is valuable. And if you don't protect them, someone's careless words will damage them. When you learn to guard your mind from external negativity, something amazing happens. Your self-talk becomes stronger. You stop repeating the doubts and complaints of others, and start repeating your own words of courage and possibility. And here's the bonus. Once you protect your own garden, you become the kind of person who plants good seeds in others. You don't just guard against negativity, you spread positivity. So remember, what you let in will eventually come out. Feed your mind with fear, and fear will shape your self-talk. Feed it with faith, and faith will guide your steps. From this day forward, guard the gate, build the wall, choose your company, protect your words, because your mind is the most valuable real estate you'll ever own, and it's worth defending. The habit loop. Repetition rewires the mind. There's a simple truth about human nature that can work for you or against you. Whatever you repeat, you reinforce. Your self-talk is not just random chatter. It's habit. And like any habit, it gets stronger the more you practice it. That's what I call the habit loop. You say it, you believe it, you act on it, and then you say it again with even more certainty. It works the same way whether the words are building you up or tearing you down. If you keep saying, "I'm no good at remembering names," you'll forget names. Not because your memory is bad, but because your brain is following instructions. That experience then reinforces your belief. See? I forgot again. The loop continues. On the other hand, if you keep saying, "I'm getting better at remembering names," you'll start paying more attention, you'll try harder, and soon you'll remember more. Then you say, "See, I remembered." That success reinforces the belief, and the loop works in your favor. Here's the principle. Repetition rewires the mind. Your brain loves efficiency. It doesn't want to think too hard about every decision, so it creates shortcuts, neural pathways, based on the thoughts and words you repeat most. That's why your self-talk eventually feels automatic. The good news is, you can rewire those pathways, but it takes deliberate, consistent repetition of the right words. Let me give you the 3 parts of building a positive self-talk habit loop. 1. Choose your script intentionally. Don't wait until a moment of stress to figure out what to say to yourself. Write down specific, empowering phrases you want to live by. Keep them short and believable. Example, "I handle challenges well. I follow through on my commitments. I'm learning and improving every day." 2. Repeat it until it feels natural. At first, your brain might argue. You'll say, "I am disciplined," and your mind will reply, "No, you're not. Remember yesterday." That's normal. Keep going. The repetition will eventually overpower the resistance. 3. Pair it with action. Words without action are weak. Action without words loses direction. But when you combine the two, you create a powerful loop. Say, "I'm a person who keeps promises," and then keep one small promise to yourself that day. That action reinforces the words, and the words fuel the next action. Here's the catch. The habit loop works whether you pay attention or not. If you don't monitor it, your mind will keep running the old script by default. That's why awareness is key. Think of your mind like a radio station. The station you listen to the most becomes your background noise. If that station plays "I can't, I can't, I can't" all day, that's what you'll hum along to. If it plays "I can, I will, I am improving," that's the tune you'll carry into your decisions. Now, rewiring doesn't happen overnight. Just like a path in the forest, the more you walk it, the clearer it becomes. And the less you walk the old path, the more it fades away. That's why I tell people, give your new self-talk 30 days of deliberate repetition. Say it when you wake up. Say it in the car. Say it before bed. Say it in moments of challenge. Say it in moments of victory. Soon you'll notice something powerful. You won't have to force it anymore. In moments where you used to spiral into doubt, the positive phrase will come up automatically. That's when you know the rewiring has taken place. And here's the best part. Once a positive habit loop is in place, it starts compounding. The stronger your self-talk, the better your actions. The better your actions, the better your results. The better your results, the stronger your self-talk becomes. So remember, you are programming your mind every day, whether you mean to or not. Choose the program. Repeat it. Live it. Because when you own the loop, you own the outcome. Speaking success into existence. Success doesn't start when you get the promotion. It doesn't start when the business takes off. It doesn't start when the dream comes true. Success starts in your mouth. Before it shows up in your life, it has to show up in your words. Because your words shape your beliefs. Your beliefs shape your actions. And your actions shape your results. If you want to change the results, you've got to change the conversation you're having with yourself first. That's why I say you've got to speak success into existence. Now, this isn't magic. You can't just chant, "I'm rich," and expect a bag of money to fall from the sky. That's fantasy. Speaking success into existence means giving your mind clear, empowering instructions about who you are becoming and what you are creating, and then living in alignment with those instructions every day. Think about the most successful people you know. They speak differently. They talk about possibilities, not just problems. They talk about solutions, not just setbacks. They speak about their future as something they're building, not something they're waiting for. Here's the truth. If you want to reach a higher level in life, you have to start speaking as if you belong there. When you say, "I'm building a business that makes a difference," your mind starts scanning for opportunities that match that statement. When you say, "I'm becoming a healthy, energetic person," you notice choices that support that vision. But if you say, "I'll probably fail," or "I'm just unlucky," your mind shuts the door before you even knock. So how do you speak success into existence? 1. Speak as if the process is already in motion. Don't just say, "I want to be fit." Say, "I am getting fitter every day." Don't say, "I hope to start my business." Say, "I am building my business." The words "I am" pull the future into the present and give your mind marching orders. 2. Tie your words to specific actions. Say, "I am growing my income by improving my skills," and then actually improve your skills. Words without action create false hope. Words with action create momentum. 3. Keep your language consistent with your vision. If you're working toward financial freedom, stop saying, "I'm broke." That reinforces scarcity. Instead, say, "I'm managing my resources wisely and growing my wealth." Even if you're starting small, you're training your mind to think like someone who wins. 4. Speak success daily. Not just when you feel good. Anybody can speak positively on a good day. Champions speak success when the scoreboard says they're losing. That's when your words matter most, because that's when they direct your belief, and your belief drives your persistence. Here's something to remember. Your future self is listening to you right now. 10 years from now, you will be living inside the house you're building with your words today. Every sentence is a brick. Every declaration is part of the blueprint. If you speak fear, you'll build walls that keep opportunity out. If you speak faith, you'll build doors that let opportunity in. So here's the challenge. Starting today, speak as if the life you want is already under construction. Not someday, not maybe. Now say, "I am becoming the person who achieves this goal." Say, "I am capable, I am disciplined, I am resourceful." Say it until you believe it. Then say it until it becomes second nature. Then say it until you live it without thinking. Because here's the great truth. Success is not an accident. It's an echo. The words you send out come back to you in the form of opportunities, relationships, and results. So guard your words. Use them to direct your life. Speak your vision, your commitment, and your determination every single day. And watch how the world starts arranging itself to meet the person you keep telling it you are. Your words are your life's blueprint. If you've followed me through this journey, you've seen the pattern from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. You are designing your life one word at a time. Your words are not background noise. They are blueprints. Every sentence you speak, whether out loud or in your head, is a line drawn on the plans for the life you're building. The tragedy is that most people never realize this. They speak without thinking, complain without noticing, and criticize themselves without question. Then they look at the life they've built and wonder why the structure feels weak, why the walls are closing in, why the roof leaks every time a storm comes. The truth, they followed their own blueprint. but they never chose it on purpose. But you've now seen the power in your hands and in your mouth. You've learned that the conversation you have with yourself shapes your beliefs. Your beliefs shape your actions shape your results, and your results reinforce the very words you started with. That's why you must become the architect of your own language. You can't control everything in life. Storms will come, challenges will appear, people will disappoint you, but you can control the words you speak into your own future. And if those words are intentional, empowering, and consistent, they will hold you steady when the winds blow. Here's the key. You can't just change your words for a day or two and expect your whole life to transform. A blueprint is not drawn on a napkin in 5 minutes. It's detailed, it's intentional, it's revised until it matches the vision. So starting today, choose your words with the same care an architect chooses their materials. No weak beams, no rotten boards, only words that will hold up under pressure. Inspect your inner dialogue daily. Look for cracks, the negative phrases, the careless self-doubt. Repair them quickly. Build layer by layer. Don't try to finish the skyscraper in a week. Lay one strong brick every day with the words you speak to yourself. Because here's the truth. Your life is too important to be built by accident, and your words are too powerful to be wasted. 10 years from now, you'll be living in the house your words built. Will it be a solid, well-crafted home, or a shaky structure barely standing? That choice is made every single day with the sentences you repeat to yourself. So guard them, shape them, strengthen them, speak them with conviction, and never forget, the person you are becoming is listening to you right now. Make sure they hear a voice worth following. From this moment forward, let your self-talk be the architect of greatness. Let it draw the blueprint, lay the foundation.